Hello YouTube, welcome to the channel. I'm going to invite you to subscribe if you didn't already do that, and I appreciate the support. If you are looking for one-on-one Skype sessions, you'll find a good email on me in the description of every video that I put up. And new to the channel, that same email is connected to my PayPal tip jar. If you want to support me that way, I would sure appreciate it. All right, so I'm hoping today might put you in the application position, for lack of a better way to say it, for applying a mode. If you see that language and you're intimidated by it or just don't know what it means, you might already be able to do that, especially if you've been keeping up with the channel and doing some of the scale exercises and things like that I recommend for growing our connection to the fretboard. And this is a fun way that we can work on it. So I'm going to use a backing track that I found right here on YouTube. It's a jam backing track for an E Dorian mode. So if you're wondering what that is, I'm going to explain this to you. If we feature the second note of a diatonic scale, in other words, if I'm playing a D scale, there's our major scale. If you can't follow along there, you can look for some other content here on the channel that talks about major scales in first position. Right now, we're just looking at this very simple shape. Okay, if I move up one interval, I started on the E note. That's the Dorian mode, and we're making E the tonal center of of the scale. Instead of this being the featured note, if we were playing in D, now all of that can be played over E. So no matter where I travel to on the fretboard of the mandolin, as long as I'm playing the D scale, it's going to work for this E Dorian backing track. The chords, when they design these tracks, every chord that they go to is going to diatonically agree with the scale that we're playing. That's what makes this an excellent way for us to practice. The modes are taking the scales that we've played in a particular series of intervals and being able to do that with a musical setting going on instead of just practicing. Now we're going to have music kind of going, to help us make this more fun to do. So before I actually play the track, we're going to talk about what this scale, we need more than this on the fretboard. So the D major scale, the intervals of that scale are open on the G string, and then I have 2, 4, 6. Then I insert this thing that you probably all are familiar with. It's open, 2, 4, 5. On the D and the A strings, now open, open, 2, 3, 5. And we could play a nice shift there. 2 to 3 on the index finger. All whole steps. One last half step. And we're back to D. So let's go ahead and put all of that together. So now I'm covering quite a bit of the range of the mandolin with the D major scale. All right, now the other two things that I want to add to this that are going to work, two different positions that we could play an E blues scale out of. Some of you may recognize this scale in first position. I have a video about that. There's a whole playlist here that talks about blues scales, and they're very useful in bluegrass. So don't think that what we're doing with this can't help you with your bluegrass playing. We're going to be learning how to put together There's another video that I have called Improvisational Roadmaps. This is a different series of things that I'm putting together right now than that particular video, but it's the same exact concept. So I'm going to use this scale because it's going to open up those chromatic notes. Look at that, 2, 5 on the D string, then open, 1, 2, 5 on the A string, then an open E. You could check out that video for blues scales, and now closed position blues. There's a video for this too, but I'm going to give you a quick run through. Here's my E note, 9th fret of the G string. There's that note identification that's so important. From this note, then I play that closed position. It would be 9th fret here, then 5th fret D, 7th fret D, 8th fret D, 9th fret D, 5th fret A, 7th fret A. There's the closed position of this scale. First position, now third position and closed. So between this I can play the D scale, let's add one more interval to get to the 12th fret, because that's going to be our tonal center. Okay, now I'm going to play the track, and then I'm going to communicate to you the things that I'm doing, and all of this, everything I'm about to do, you'll find content here on the channel that covers it if you don't exactly follow along. So let's see if this plays. I'm going to tell you what it's called so you can pull this up later. It says 30-minute epic funk groove backing track, E Dorian, 110 beats per minute. So let's check this out. There you go. All right, so now you just want to feel that music. I'm just going to play an E note. There's that D scale in first position. Notice that, what that is? Those were the thirds. Now let's play that D scale on the E string and use some tremolo technique. Now we'll try some thirds down that one string. Thirds. Back to the tonal center. There's my E note. So let's go into this blues scale up here. Just a blues lick. You can play intervals here. Back down the scale. Now the blues in first position. Interesting thing. So you can see the devices that we talk about, all of those kind of being played with some examples of using all of this range that the mandolin does offer, so that we're not just stuck here with that D scale. All of this is totally doable for you. And it's, you know, a lot of times people think of the modes and they see a word like Dorian or Mixolydian or any of the names of the modes, but it really can be simple for you conceptually if you know the scale that you're playing and you've done those intervals maybe in an exercise form. This could be a step in the right direction to becoming someone able to apply those modes. If you're playing bluegrass music, you could be playing Blackberry Blossom, and when it goes to an E minor chord, which it does for that B part, there could be fruit from what we're doing right here that would help you to at least feel comfortable with the area of the fretboard that you were playing in. So hopefully you enjoy playing with this backing track, and it can put you definitely on the pathway to application of some of these things that we've been working on.